Member Party is really, really important and marks a huge step, a huge leap basically for different communities. The reason is that, for example, Spanish community, French community, Portuguese community, Chinese community, Polish community have all their first black members, and this is the first time it happens. Before, you know, the Black Member Party was like a huge thing for the German community, and it still is. I mean, it's a massive, massive party. But there were only Germans here. Later on, there were a couple of Russians. We still have, we have about 6 Russians, I think, now in this community, or this Black Member Party. But the big difference is this year, you know, it became international. You see it everywhere. Speeches are being given in English. It's not only German anymore. And, you know, especially for the community managers, this is a huge leap because they get out of their baby steps. Well, not baby steps, but they start growing up. You know, they start having these big VIPs, and they start moving towards success. It starts becoming really, really big. And yeah, that's been something that is really, really great for our different languages. Community manager's role is a really responsible role. Because if we, for example, compare it to like the first community, the German community, the role is really, really different. A community manager is really in charge of, you know, stuff that in the German community, for example, the education department does. So the amount of work and the amount of quality a community manager puts in the different languages has a massive, massive influence on the direct influence on the quality of, for example, the poker players we have in different languages. They decide what kind of, you know, coaches to hire or what kind of video producers to hire. They give them assessments, they do the feedback, and they really try to improve their product. What we try to do in all these different languages, in 18 different languages, is we try to localize our product. Our product basically means our coachings, our videos, our forums, our news, everything. We localize it. We don't translate it. We put it into, you know, really a different language, but we try to make it easy, readable. We try to really put it to the, get it to the players in that country or in that language, basically. Sometimes that's really hard. You can imagine, for example, a Portuguese community or a Spanish community, which have, you know, countries in Europe, but also countries in South America. There's differences between, you know, between those countries, of course. So we try to find some sort of mix, and we really try to bring the product to the player, and that makes us really stand out in comparison to other poker schools, for example. Because what we do is we bring the product to the player. We try to make the player as good as possible, and we try to help him reach the highest limits they can. We really try to be on top of the ball. We want to have the best content out there. We recently have done that in the German community, for example, with producing, you know, video series. We try to listen to our community members, and we try to incorporate what they want to be on top of the game. We try to do that in other communities as well. What our first focus was in the last half year, more or less, is to get all the basic and bronze content as perfect as possible, with instructional videos, with different strategy articles, with layouts, etc., etc. What we now try to do in 2010 is we really try to focus more on not only the content, but also the quality of the community itself. So how do you feel within your community? What we try to do is we try to get 3 community managers in every language. One who focuses really on the poker content, tries to listen to the community members, tries to improve on the product. We have one community manager who focuses on basically the forum side or the community side of it, to really help players that, you know, have questions as a beginner or that want to interact with each other. And then we have a community who focuses on localization. So that is bringing, you know, the latest news to you, for example, or, you know, the newest strategy articles. And, well, that's what we try to do also in 2010. We try to further improve on that, and we really want to get the best possible product in every single language.